Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're taking a quick look at Mana. And before we do, we'll take a very brief peek over at Bitcoin. It's trending right around 60,500. Not a lot going on here. It's definitely going to be trending in the close range of 60,000 for a little while. That's essentially establishing itself as a strong support level. You can see on the one-day candlestick here that we got the 50-day simple moving average working its way up, which is actually a very good sign for Bitcoin. But bear in mind as well, we've got a potential death cross on the 4-hour chart where the 50 is intersecting with the 200 in a downward fashion fairly soon. So that to me spells a little bit of disaster. I think we're going to come down to 58,000 soon just based on that sentiment alone. But that's just kind of the state of where we're at with Bitcoin. So taking a look here at Mana, let's get back on track here and see what's going on. So let's start with some good news. Look at the one-day chart and kind of see where we're at. First of all, we're trending just below 70 on the RSI. So this isn't bad. It just means it's created a resistance level, which is very much equivalent to about $3.45. So if you look at the chart, you can kind of see here, this line has been tested about 5 times and still hasn't broken yet on the one-day candlestick. And keep this in mind too, because I get this question a lot. It's like, well, no, you're wrong, because the price went all the way up to about $3.79. That doesn't really matter. That's a candle wick, one thing. But when it comes to the candlestick closing on the one-day chart, that's the most effective thing, right? So as far as established support and resistance levels, or understanding kind of where the RSI, the relative strength index, is trending, that is obviously a strong resistance level that's holding the price action down. Can't seem to close above it. If we can get the price to close above it, then we're going to be in good shape to likely see a break to the upside. That's more often than not what typically happens with coins like these. But for now, that's kind of where we're at here. Neither good nor bad on that sense, right? It's kind of more neutral. Good news is here, though, we are seeing the 50-day simple moving average work as a strong support. So that recent sell-off here yesterday, where we had a bit of a decrease from Bitcoin, Mana effectively held its own right there at that point. So good stuff, good shape there in that sense. We're also above 50 on the RSI, so that reaffirms the fact that we have a nice, strong support level, which is, again, trending really close to about $3 even. So $3, I would say, is a very strong support, whereas $3.45 is a very strong resistance. We get that 45-cent range that's kind of holding the price in play. Okay. Looking at the Ishimoku cloud, let's kind of see what's going on. We'll make it a little easier here for you. Go ahead and turn off the conversion baseline lagging span. We can see we're above the cloud. That's effectively a good sign, but bear in mind it's not super relevant in this case because being above the cloud in kind of trending into a resistance level isn't always the best thing, right? So for lack of better terms, the price could just travel into the cloud, kind of continue to just trend up and down. It's pretty much just in a state of consolidation right now, trying to figure out where it wants to go. The bulls and the bears are both saying, hey, this is too high of a price, this is too small of a price, I want to add to my position, I want to sell my position, and it's kind of going up pretty much nowhere, for lack of better terms, but that's not a bad thing. Consolidation can be very healthy. It's probably just waiting for Bitcoin to pull its head out of its ass and essentially figure itself out, right? That could very well be the case because a lot of coins like this, even though they have that knee-jerk reaction, they're still very reliant on Bitcoin, and Mana is no exception. It definitely has that tendency of kind of going stagnant when Bitcoin doesn't know quite what it wants to do. So just bear that in mind. But regardless, not bad nor good. We can see the state of consolidation. We're right at a 7. So hypothetically, we've got 2 more hours before the price comes back down. I don't expect to see any large pumps or anything major from Mana. It's just kind of business as usual. So for lack of better terms, we're not going to see a tremendous amount of activity, in my opinion, until Bitcoin decides to make a move. There is a chance that there might be a fundamental catalyst I'm not familiar with that will drive the price up. But all the technical signs here kind of just point towards sideways. There's no major bullish or bearish tendencies that I can see here so far, minus the 4-hour chart, kind of 50-day simple moving average working as a support level, slowly pushing the price up. Minus that fact, we don't have anything else that's significant, if you will, right? So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin soon with that 4-hour, potential death cross, and say kind of go from there, see what happens. But for now, I would say that no news is good news for Mana. There's nothing wrong with it being where it's at, and it'll likely break to the upside or downside soon. I'm sorry to be the bearer of no news, but I can tell you, best case scenario, if Mana were to kind of repeat the same behavior that it did recently, where it dipped really low from the Bitcoin sell-off on the 10th, it increased about 72%. To get that same type of increase, for lack of better terms, we could see that in the next 2 weeks based on the fact that it took this roughly 1 week to get here. So I would say hypothetically 1 to 2 weeks, Thanksgiving or end of month, we may see somewhere in the range of 540 upwards of 580. That's potential. Again, there's no guarantees on that just based on its price movement, but you got to understand it increased way too fast, way too quick, and it has to consolidate and do its thing. It tried to ramp back up here, but that was just that response from Bitcoin selling off, and now it's just consolidating further. So no, this is not a bad thing. This is a very good thing. Don't be concerned. Feel free to dollar cost average if you're in a position that you want to continue with Mana for a while. If you're day trading, wait for some more signals to ensure that you're not just jumping in arbitrarily and waiting for it to jump only. You can skim a 0.5% at a time. That's not that great. So anyway, hope we find you benefit here today. We'll cover it again here soon. Thanks so much for your patience and watching this far. Feel free to check out my Patreon community. Love to show your supports and obviously help you out as well if you want to become a better trader and follow every single trade that I take. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.